Best DLC that comes to mind for me has to be Forza Horizon 3's Hot Wheel expansion pack. As a car fanatic, you know, this was inevitable. This was gonna happen. And when I finally heard it got announced, I absolutely lost my shit. I absolutely went nuts for it. And any car nerd out there, they would have lost their shit too, because Forza had already been doing a collaboration with Hot Wheels for a while now, including some of their cars like the Twin Mill, Bone Shaker, and other famous Hot Wheels cars. This DLC included a full explorable map, including the famous orange Hot Wheels track that got looped around buildings, mountains, across multiple islands and beaches, even having a T-Rex shout at you as you drive past. And this wasn't just like a single track. This was a wide track that you could have fully customizable races on, certain events like the time trials, circuit races, and even challenges like speed traps. It wasn't even that as well. They had stuff like flaming hoops to fly through, boost pads, loop-de-loops, and even just a twisting road going around a mountain. It really made you feel like you were racing a Hot Wheels track that you made on your own. I felt like I was a kid again, playing on this map. You could even have your regular cars in there too, so you could race around these awesome tracks with cars that you created. And it was a DLC that was just, it was a proper expansion, and it didn't feel like just something threw together. Like, the guys at Playground Games really knew what they were doing, because I believe that they were car fanatics as well, so they were like, all right, what do we need to do? How do we make this as enjoyable as possible? I think they just went to town on making these awesome tracks. So yeah, that DLC I could easily go back and replay for hours and hours and hours, just because of how kid-like and magical it felt driving those tracks. So yeah, 100% go back and play the Hot Wheels update.
A video game that has had fantastic DLC release is the Sims 3 catalog. Now, sometimes you can just choose one DLC, or you can choose multiple and add them into your little repertoire. My personal favorite Sims 3 DLC is Sims 3 Supernatural, maybe Sims 3 Pets too. The Sims 3 catalog is incredible. The fact that there are so many DLC, and they were still releasing DLC up until Sims 4 was actually sold and being purchased as a game, is incredible. I will give an honorable mention to some DLC that has been and made into Sims 4. My personal favorite being Seasons. I'm an Australian. I live in the tropics. I've never seen snow. So the fact that I got to experience such beautiful, magical snow and holiday events like that really did kind of make The Sims 4 for me. But traveling back to The Sims 3, I personally do believe that if there wasn't DLC with The Sims 3, maybe even Sims 2, you probably wouldn't have gotten the same experience or the thousands of hours of gameplay that do exist with, well, my save file. Over 1,000 hours of gameplay minimum, and in my Sims 4 account there is over 1,000 as well. DLC really do make or break the Sims games.
So I've been a gamer for a very long time, and I've played many DLCs in that time. But for me, it's not necessarily about the DLC itself, but more that the experience that it tries to get the player to experience. For me, Call of Duty Black Ops 2 had Mob of the Dead. That was a bit of a shift in mechanics and the like when it comes to zombies, but that only gets an honorable mention in this one. The one I really want to speak about is From the Ashes. Now, I know I spoke about Kingdom Come Deliverance in the last video, but there was a DLC that came out for that game called From the Ashes, and essentially what happens is midway through the game, you liberate a former town from bandits, and it's basically left in ruin. Now, the powers that be want to rebuild the town, and they task our dearly beloved protagonist Henry with the task of rebuilding this town. Now, the town itself and you know, the game itself is quite a good game, but I mean, if any game sort of bring this kind of experience, I'm usually down for it. And basically what happens is you recruit villagers to come move to your town to live, work, experience it. You build buildings and upgrade them. And essentially it's just a management sim for a town. Now, I am all about management sims. In Tarkov, you've got the hideout where you need to get resources and earn money and get certain levels with traders and things like that. But you know, when it comes to earning different buildings and like, you know, getting gold to fund the whole thing, that was really an experience that I enjoyed and I really like playing it. If you haven't experienced it, I 100% recommend go out and have a crack at it. It's one of the best DLCs that I've played, just purely based on the fact that, you know, you've got this hamlet which is essentially in ashes, and you're taking it from having 0 inhabitants to having, you know, government buildings, bakeries, the bar, taverns, like a horse stable. Like you build all these different sort of buildings to create this town that, you know, is not only just a town going about its thing, but more like it's a functioning town that's earning money for the kingdom, so to speak. So yeah, that was definitely a DLC that I really enjoyed playing.